here. Welcome. To all returning subscribers, thank you so much for your continued support. So, hey, I know that I haven't done a discussion video in a while. I'm sure that it's not just me that feels this way. It's just been so much going on, and it's almost like very depressing. Every day on every day on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or on TV, you're seeing all of these stories, and it's like I saw one story the other day about a young man, and honestly, I just lost it. I cried. You know, I teared up even before doing this video. You guys know how I feel. I try to come on here and give you the best of me when I'm in the best of moods. And just lately, I haven't been in the mind space to be able to, help inspire and talk. And I know there's a few people who I was supposed to get with, and I just haven't been able to, probably due to their schedule and mine, and just, the moods. It's just really hard to just be in the zone. So, but I want to come on here and, talk to you guys today, at least give you something. I'm gonna, try to do a couple of more discussion videos, because I know those are what you guys really like. You guys don't care about me cooking Philly cheesesteaks. You guys want to hear me talk. So, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would most appreciate it. So I was thinking about what topics to talk about, what is the main thing that you guys want to hear. I've had several people ask me certain things, talk to me about certain things, request certain videos. So today I'm going to talk about how moving to Texas changed my life, and how do you know if moving is right for you. Typically, when I do my videos, I like to write down key points and notes and all of that to jot to, but today I'm gonna just freestyle and just give you information just off the top of my head. So, so how moving to Texas changed my life. I want to share with everybody, because people always ask me, like, how did you do it? What really made you do it? And I have videos that explain a lot of this detail, but it's different with after the fact. People ask you questions, so then they want to know more, you know what I mean? So what really made me move to Texas, because I've had people tell me things like they have had a lot of bad things happen to them, no one is believing or supporting them, and they just don't know if it's right for them or not. Their parents are elderly, they have, other parent of kids issues, and, the money's funny. Look, all of that was me. My grandparents were very old. When I decided to move, first of all, my parents always, let's just backtrack. My parents always wanted to move. They always wanted to leave California. And so we used to come out here and go to Louisiana a lot when I was a kid. And if my eyes are watery, I apologize. Like I said, I was reading a story earlier and my eyes just watered up. So don't be surprised if you see a lash fall off my face, seriously. But anyway, so I had a lot of series of events. I always knew what was out here. I always knew that you could come to Texas and get a big house. That's just what I always knew as a kid. And growing up in South LA, you know how, if you're from there or been there, you know how the homes look, and you know the cost of them, you know what I'm saying? And I just always, when I had my daughter, I had her at 20, and it was just, from then on, it was just struggle. And I always thought about, if I wasn't here, then I could buy a house. If I wasn't here, I could give her a better life. If I wasn't here, I could be able to provide better. And when I was in LA, it was fun, don't get me wrong, like I was popping, but I just started thinking about, like, what is her future gonna be? If I don't move from here, she's gonna be going to the same school that I went to. She's gonna be going to the same junior high and the same high school, because why? I'm in this area and this is the local school. And I just little things like that just started playing to me. And then my parents were getting older, and my mom, they like I said, they always wanted to move here. And as they got older, they started being a little bit less motivated, or a little less unable, obviously. And I was like, well, where does that leave my life and my daughter's life? Like, are we supposed to just be here forever? Like, even when I had her, I contemplated about moving to Vegas. I contemplated about moving to Phoenix. I always just contemplated because I knew that there was things elsewhere. And so I wanted to experience those things elsewhere. Do you see Diesel in the window? He's whining. So with that said, that seed was always planted for me. So I started it was like the seed was always there. I don't want you guys to think that I just got up and woke up and left. No, it was not like that. I was scared. I was concerned. What if I don't make it? What's going to happen to us? Like, all these thoughts played in my mind. But the bigger thought was, if you don't try, what's going to happen? So anyway, you see, I had to let him in. I didn't know if the move was right for me. I don't think you'll ever know if it's right for you. I think it's the matter of trying and seeing if it works, because wherever you are currently just isn't working for you anymore, right? I didn't tell a lot of people. I only told very few people, because once you tell a lot of people your plans, you'd be surprised how much negative energy gets put into your plans. So I didn't tell a lot of people. The only people that I knew were my parents. I told my child's father's family. I told a few of my friends, obviously my close friends, and that was it. I didn't really discuss it. After I told them that what I was planning to do, I really didn't discuss it further. That was just so you know this is going to happen type of thing. I ended up giving away all my furniture. I ended up donating a lot of stuff. I didn't even sell a lot of things. I just gave it away. I didn't care. I ended up putting my items that I did have in storage. I told my job, who was Time Warner at the time, and I tried to get a job here. I couldn't, because whatever reason why they didn't hire me, and the pay was like $5 less. I came to Texas at a certain time of Texas, growth changing. I used to do a lot of research. I'm a big person for Google. I'm a big person about research. And I was reading that Texas was next. I was reading that it was so much land out here, and there was so much development. There was no state taxes. There was so much potential. And one thing I know is you want to go where the potential is before it hits, right? So I took my daughter out of school. You have people that's like, I don't want to take my kid out of school because it's going to affect them. She was in first grade. Wasn't nothing going to affect her. She'd be all right. That was my mentality. Even if she was in fifth grade, you'll be all right, because at the end of the day, I know what's best. You don't. You're a child. So however it affects you, life is change. Life is consistently changing. So to me, that was introducing to what's to come in your lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have a kid that's only used to the same thing consistently, think about how hard it will be for change to hit them when they get older. That was my mentality. It kind of still is. So I took her out of school, and I told my mom, and my brother at the time was 17. I think he was 16, because I was 26. We're 10 years apart. And we just drove. Like, my job, when I told my job about it, they basically had a little get together, and they all raised like $500-$600 for me. So I had that amount of money, and then I had like my paycheck for 2 weeks. And I just drove out here, and I stayed with a friend for a few weeks. And that didn't end up working out, so I ended up renting this apartment off of Coit and Beltline and Richardson that was infested with big cockroaches about this big, no lie. I'm gonna actually do a video where I show my journey of all of the apartments that I lived in before I bought my house. But I didn't know, okay, when I first got here, like, I didn't land on my feet. Like, I went through some stuff. I went through some struggle. There was a period where this was right before the recession hit, and I was at my job for 9 months, and they let me go. So then I filed for unemployment, and I got denied, and therefore I had no income. I had no income. I had no support. I had no income. I had to get a job at Macy's that was like $9 an hour. That wasn't even enough to pay my rent, which was $8.80 at the time. My car note was $3.50. I had to go I had to go apply for welfare. Like I got approved like 2.5 months later, and they were like, we're gonna give you an amount of $250 a month, and we'll give you $400 in food stamps. And I'm like, forgive my ignorance, but I never been on welfare. You know, I've worked since I was 16. So I was like, 250, what is that supposed to even do? And she was like, well, it's not to take care of you, it's just to help you. I said, help with what? Like, that's not helping me, you know? So for a period of 4 months, I had to do odds and ends jobs. I had to, you know, I cleaned up some houses, you know, I remember I went to Collin Creek Mall, the one that's in Plano, the one that's not basically there anymore. I literally remember I had Jordan, she was about 7 or 8, and I walked through every store, including Chick-fil-A, including every store, and I applied to every single store. No lie. So I ended up getting a job at Macy's at Fairview, when they first opened. So if you ever passed the Macy's in Fairview, you think of me, because that's where I first worked when they were just opening. And this is story time basically, because I'm going to put this as a story time because I'm telling you the stuff, but I'm also telling you from my experience. But I remember, oh gosh, that was the most degrading job I ever had. Like, I remember when you go in, they would basically do like a get-together rally in the morning, and they would say, what they used to say, when you would have to ask a customer, how are you doing? And then they'll say, fine, how are you? And you'd have to say, I'm outstanding. No lie. That's how you have to repeat. I'm outstanding. You had to say that. And I was just like, it was that time period where I realized how important education is. How important it is to have education. Because if not, this is the kind of job you will end up with. And I remember they had us stacking stuff in the back, and then they would come back and say, oh, no, move that to the other place. And you'll be like, I just did this for 45 minutes. Like, it was just little things like that. And I remember meeting a couple of different people. I met this one girl, her name was Kyria, and I have lost touch with her. I don't know where she is. But at the time I was like 27, she was about 18, 19, and she was going to UNT. And I just remember her telling me that her parents was like, education. I just remember her telling me that her parents, because her father was Middle Eastern and her mom was Black. I just remember her telling me that her dad always instilled in her that education is the key to success. Now, keep in mind, at that time, I hadn't been to school since high school. So I wasn't really at the point where I started going back to school because of my math and being ashamed and embarrassed and all that. I knew I couldn't succeed. And I just remember, the funniest thing is somebody who was 10 years younger than me gave me a lesson that I remember for the rest of my life. And I just remember that. And when I tell you that job was so degrading. So one day we ended up getting our paychecks. Now in my mind, I was getting like those eviction notices. If you don't pay by this day, you gonna be evicted type of thing. So I'm expecting the check to be a certain amount. I calculated in my head, but they end up taking extra taxes. And I remember when I got the check, it was like, we got paid, I think, weekly. So I remember I got the check, and the check was like, I thought it was gonna be like $450, but it ended up being like $280. And no lie, the HR person was right there, and like a manager was right there, and like another coworker was right there. And no lie, I opened that envelope and I laughed. Like, I laughed. And every time I turn around, it was like, Stephanie wants to see you. Stephanie wants to see you. And it was literally that day I knew they were gonna fire me, because I laughed. It was funny. It was my life at that point was so dark and depressing. It was funny. Like, I couldn't, have you ever been in such a bad place that you can't do number? I think 2020 is that for all of us right now. At this point, we can't do number laugh, like, just, you know? And I laughed. So next thing you know, Stephanie wants to see you. And I literally just got my stuff and I just left. So I guess they were like, Carlotta didn't come back. Nope, she sure didn't. Like, at that point, I just had nothing to lose. It was just such a bad time. It was such a bad place. I didn't have any help. I didn't have any support. And that pivotal point of my life taught me about how to hustle, how to grind, how to make it happen. Like if y'all follow me on my Instagram, I always put hustle, grind, work, because in my mind, that's how I always been thinking like that, because I'm like, literally I had a mouth to feed. And I remember at that time it was summer, and she was a chubbier kid, and she had outgrown all her clothes, and I had no money. I had no money to even buy her clothes. So there's a Salvation Army that was across the street from where we lived, and I remember going in there, and I literally had maybe about $22, and I literally just bought her like t-shirts and like 3 pair of shorts from like thrifting, you know, the thrift store. And that's when I learned how to thrift. That's when I got into thrifting, because I was like, oh, there's some good stuff, you know, $2 and $3. So I just remember doing that for her, and I was just like, this can't be life. Now, mind you, I'm in Texas trying to start a new life, and that happened to me. And a lot of people look at me now and they're like, how did you survive? And I can only tell you I survived by I literally got to the point where I was like, I'm gonna have to go back to LA and move back in my mom's house. Now, mind you, my parents didn't let me live with them. I got kicked out at 18, and I had been on my own ever since. And I was at the bottom. If you ever wanna know where ground zero is, I was there. And I just knew that something had to give. And like I think I said about this in another video, I had got a job. I couldn't really grasp the work. It was medical credentialing. And I understand medical credentialing, but I feel like sometimes the way people train you, it makes it look like you don't understand the job, but it was how they taught it to you that you can't comprehend. Like 2 different people may learn 2 different ways type of thing. So I wasn't just grasping it, and the people there were not nice people. So they ended up letting me go. And I just remember talking to my friend, and he was like, what are you gonna do? And I was just like, I don't even care. I don't care. We're probably gonna have to go to a shelter. We're probably gonna have to, you know, vacate, like, yeah. It was in that point, in that moment of my life, that I knew I can't depend on people. I don't got nobody. You know, I gotta always make sure that we good, you know, and I had a couple of people that really looked out for me, and I call them to this day my angels. I'm still cool with all of them. I don't know what made them help me. Maybe they just saw that I was trying, and I couldn't catch a break. And they just looked out for me. They helped me pay my rent. They helped me pay my car note. They helped me pay I figured out how to pay my own utilities and all that. But I just remember it was nights where I just bought, no lie, I bought 10 pack of noodles, a pack of hot dogs and hot dog buns, and I bought like a thing of Eggo waffles. And I just remember us eating on that. I was like, this is what we're gonna, like literally there would be a time where I would say, okay, 1 hot dog for you, 1 hot dog for me, a pack of noodles for you, a pack of noodles for me, a waffle for you, a waffle for me. Like, y'all really don't understand that I know the struggle. I know the struggle. So when people be like, oh my God, you're doing so great. You're doing so great in life. You don't have no worries. You don't understand anything. I don't think I need this light anymore. It's sunny. Okay. Let me tell you, I know all about the struggle. I probably know more than you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So don't judge a person on where they at. You don't know where they been. So what I say is, how did I know that the move was right for me? I didn't know if the move was right for me, but I had my vision, and I could not deny the vision that I had. Like, I wasn't afraid of work. I wasn't afraid of sacrifice. I wasn't afraid of it. So what I say all that to tell you guys, you're not gonna know if moving is the right thing for you. It's scary. It's very scary. And anytime that you're stepping out of your element, anytime that you're stepping out of your comfort zone of what you know, it is scary. But what is even more scary is not knowing. And I can't be a person who does not know. I would rather try and fail than to not try. And I had a friend who used to always tell me, don't just it's gonna get better. It's gonna get, and I was like, no, it's not. It's not. How is this gonna be better? Like, how? But I stayed diligent. I stayed true. You know, I was like, if I have to go back to LA, I can tuck my tail and take that L. I can do that, but I have to try. I have to. And it's like, it took me a long time to get out of that dark hole that I was in, because that going through a hard, dark time does something to you. It can really break your spirit. Like my soul was tainted at that point, and I hated everything, and I hated everybody, and I was so negative. And I remember this person called me a bitter black woman, and I was like, bitch, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know my story, you don't know me, you don't know my life, you don't know what I've been through. So who are you to call me bitter? You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't survive a day in my shoes. And I feel like people are so quick to judge, but they don't know. And it's like, you got to at some point realize that people are going to say things about you. They are going to claim things about you. They're going to, you know what I'm saying, they're going to pick you apart. But the thing is, you got to stay true to your vision. You got to stay true to you. And I'm passionate when I talk about this because I'm somebody who came from the bottom. I'm somebody who literally started off at ground zero. There was nothing there but dirt. So if I can build myself and build a whole new life, you can too. To all the single moms who have children, it can be done. And I know you guys, I've had a few of you hit me up and ask me things about, how do you do it as a single parent? How do you do it? How do you do it? Listen, there's always resources. They are hard to find, don't get me wrong. But my dog, when I worked at Macy's, I didn't have money for a daycare. I didn't have money for a babysitter. And this is me being honestly transparent. She 18 now, so y'all can't tell on me. So, you know what I'm saying? But I was at Macy's and she was 8. I had to teach her how to be home by herself because I didn't have nobody. I didn't have no help. I didn't have no resources to get free daycare. Y'all, the government was trying to give me $200 a month and thinking that's going to sit here and put me on survival mode. Like, how am I supposed to survive off of that daycare, $80, $90 a week? So I had told her, okay, I'm making you a turkey sandwich, chips, eat that. When you get hungry, stay in the bedroom, close the door, do not open the door. If you hear anything, don't. Because the area I was in was cool. But I was just scared and I was paranoid. And I'm like, why am I in this situation to where I can't even put my daughter in an environment where I know she's safe? I got to leave her home alone. You know what I'm saying? But what that taught her was independence. She learned early on about independence and how survival goes. And so she's just been exposed a little earlier than most kids. So I say all that to the single moms out there. I'm telling you, like, I understand the struggle. I understand how hard you think it is, but I'm telling you, sometimes sacrifices have to be made for the greater good, because by me teaching her that, it's also taught her how to be more independent. And now that she's 18, she ready to go off college. She don't feel no, she like, I'm ready. She don't care. She's good. And I'm over here like, but she's ready. You have to be able to know that it will be okay. Because my thing is, something can happen here, but something can happen to where you at too. You know, something can happen where you currently at. You know, things are happening everywhere. And that's the talk that she and I had recently. Like, you think just because we live in a good area, things don't happen here. Like, it's somebody that could literally pull out a gun and shoot somebody right now. It don't matter where we are, unless you're in a gated community, living in Hollywood Hills, and you literally have security outside your door. Anything can happen, you know? And so you have to know that as a single parent, it will be okay. Like, do your research, reach out, like, make friends, join groups, join resource groups, join informational groups, join Facebook groups. There are informational groups that can help you and give you the advice and give you the courage that you need in order to make this change for you and your kids. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you don't make that change, you're going to regret it. You will regret it, because you will always wonder what would have happened if I didn't. I'm not saying move to Texas. I'm saying anywhere, anything, any city, make a change. If you really want to make a change and you are afraid of what could possibly happen, like, that's basically, you know, creating a storm before it even rains on you. And it's like, you cannot think like that. Yes, I know it's scary. I know it's hard. I know, like, literally I could talk about this for hours. It's gonna work out. You have to know that it works out. Like, it depends on your spiritual, religious beliefs. I just always knew. I'm gonna tell y'all a real story real quick. So when I got the job that I'm at now, after all that happened, the Macy's, the other job let me go. I literally was, like I said, I talked to my friend. He was like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, I'm gonna just be homeless. We're gonna live in our car. In my mind, that was next. Like, literally, I was like, we're gonna live in my car. Like, that is it. I don't know what else to do. We're gonna probably just live in my car and probably just, I didn't have a cell phone. Like, just literally, it was just that bad. And my job now called me, and I'd never checked my voicemails, and just so happened one of my managers left me a voicemail. I was like, who is this? And when I went in, I just went in. I got sick because my immune system was just shot. I was so stressed. I had got really, really sick. I think I probably had the flu. And I went and interviewed, and my director was like, why would you come in? Because they're all nurses. She was like, why would you come in knowing that you're sick like this? You could get other people sick. And I said, because what I tell her, it was a Diddy quote. I was like, because there's always somebody out there willing to take your spot. And my spot is not going to be taken. I'm here. And I got the job. And I've been here almost 11 years. But at that time, I couldn't pay my car insurance no more. So that was about maybe 2 or 3 months into it. And about 2 weeks after I got the job, I was going out, going to like get something off the dollar menu at McDonald's. And I got pulled over because I made an illegal U-turn, which I've seen so many people make that U-turn and they never got pulled over to this day. But I got pulled over, and I was like, they gonna take my car. They gonna tow my car. Like, I know I didn't have insurance. I know they're gonna tow my car. At that point, there's a lot of people who would have been contemplating suicide. I just want y'all to know, so much had happened to where literally an average person probably would have been contemplating suicide. So that happened. I got pulled over, and she was like, ma'am, can I see your proof of insurance? So I pulled out my old insurance card thinking, the insurance card thinking that maybe they won't run it. I'm just like, so she comes back and she goes, okay, ma'am, you're free to go. I'm just give you this ticket. Please watch where you're turning. And I was like, okay. And I was like, you ran my information? She was like, yeah. And I was like, you're not going to tow my car? She was like, no, you're good. I was like, okay. So I went back in after a good cry, like that outcry, like, oh crap, and I go back into the office. I call my insurance company, State Farm. It was State Farm at the time. And I called the office, and I was like, I just got pulled over. I just want to let y'all know they ran it. I don't know what's going to come up in the system. They were like, Miss Lee, we know that you lost your job, so we paid your insurance for the next 3 months. Look, tears. I was like, you what? They're like, yeah, we know you lost your job. Because maybe I called and told them. I don't know. Maybe I called and told them. But they basically, the office itself, it was like a personal office. Out here, they have personal agents. And they paid my insurance. They put my insurance current for the next 3 months. They was like, you just got to pay it back when you get on your feet. And I was like, okay. So things like that. Like, I've just always had angels looking out for me. I just always had, the favor, I guess. I don't know. Like, I always think about those things that happened to me. And I always think about the fear of it. Like, I just really thought we were going to be homeless living in the car. And now I'm on my second house. Go figure. And I say all that to say, you will not know if moving is right for you. You will not know if it's the right thing to do until you do it. To move into Texas has changed my life because it really taught me how to get out there on my own. Like, it taught me that I had to make new friends. It taught me how to be more independent. I was already independent, but I was comfortably independent. This was an uncomfortable independent. It taught me how to go out and hustle. It taught me how to, be more expressive and vocal and ask for what I need and, go out and be more of a go-getter. It taught me how to budget. It taught me how to sacrifice. It taught me how to, make sure that my daughter is ready for life and being taken care of. It taught me the good, the bad, the ugly. It taught me that, who's there when you fall on your face, like who's there for you to call, who's there. Like, I always think about who was there when, people who sent me $50, people who sent me, and honestly, AJ's mom was one of the people who, gave me like $50 or $100 or gas money or something. And I took her kid in, you know what I'm saying? We even now. But, I think about those kind of things. And at that time, I wasn't even speaking to my mom, so she didn't even know what I was going through. I wasn't talking to anybody really from my friend circle at that time. And then at that point, I realized they not my friends like that. You know, they might have been at a point, but at that time, it just when I tell you literally, I had nothing. I had nothing, and I made it. And you will too. You know, I'm sure you guys will plan a little bit better than me. I'm sure you guys will come out, you know, wait till you get your tax return or wait till you get your bonuses, you know, stack a couple of bonus checks. But I came out here with nothing. I came out here with a 2-week check and $500. And I made it, you know, but it definitely changed my life because it taught me I can survive. Texas taught me how to survive. And one thing I know now, if I can make it here, I can go anywhere and make it. If I can make it in South LA, if I can make it starting from ground zero in Dallas, Texas, I can go anywhere and make it and survive because now I got that blueprint to survival. And coming to a new place will teach you those skills that you did not know that you even had to possess. Whether it's, you know, different country, different state, different city, whatever. Anytime you go anywhere that's new, you are stepping out of your comfort zone and you are putting yourself into a whole, it takes strength and bravery. Like anybody who's able to do it with no plan, like if you're transferring with a job or whatever, you good, you set, because you ain't really have to plan anything. But if you're coming here and looking for a job or looking for a new start, or, you know, you're coming here with nothing, that takes balls. So, you know, I hope this helps you understand a little bit better my journey, my road. Of course, I have so many more stories to tell, but I just want you to understand that Texas did change my life. Moving to a new state did change my life. Because now I look back and I look at Jordan, who's now 18 years old, and I'm like, what would have happened if she never left that apartment on 84th and Hoover? Where would she have been? Where would she have been had I not taken that chance? Like, as parents, we are supposed to sacrifice for our children. And it's so easy for us to stay in our comfort zone. But what we don't understand is, being a parent, you're supposed to sacrifice for the greater good to make the better path for your child. Like I always tell her, I ran so you could walk. Because now her life will be a little bit easier. Now, granted, in these times is crazy in itself. But because of my sacrifice, she'll have the ability to have a different path than what I had. So please understand, as a single parent, you can do it. You can. I know it, you may not see it, but you can. There are so many people here. Everybody here got kids. Everybody here got kids. And I'm telling you how I'm telling you this. I had a daughter, so all my homegirls had daughters here. But now that I have AJ, now my friends got boys here. You know what I'm saying? I have to make boy mom friends. And that go to show you right there how easy it is to meet people, because literally now AJ has friends and I'm cool with their moms. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to go out and make new friends with women who have boys. So I'm telling you something I'm not telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I know. And as a single parent, you can make it. You can survive. You can create a life for yourself and your children. It just takes determination and strength. And please understand, kids don't know what's best for them. You know what's best for them. That's, you know, now that Jordan's 18, she thinks she's grown now. I'll be like, girl, you still don't know what's best for you. I'm still older than you. And at your age, I was homeless. At your age, a year from now, I was pregnant with you. So you don't know what's better. I know. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, you got to let them have their little thoughts and feelings. But at the same time, if it's in terms of creating a better path and better life, you got to stand firm on your square and know that that's best. So, thanks so much for watching. I hope I gave y'all some good information. I'm so sorry I haven't been able to give y'all more discussion videos. It's just my vibrations have really been down because of all the stuff that's been going on. It's just really been a lot. I hope all of you guys are in good health. I hope you guys are trying your best to stay sane. We're just getting through this how we can. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go drink me some wine when I get off work today, and lay in bed and watch the haves and have-nots. But I hope that you guys stay safe, wear your mask, take your vitamins, get your rest, try your best to, you know, de-stress. Turn off the TV, turn off the internet, you know, do your best to stay sane in these times. It's really, really hard out there for all of us. My thoughts and my prayers are with all of you guys. I love you all so much. Please like, comment, and share and subscribe to my channel. Please drop some comments below. Let me know. I hope this helped you. Even if you don't comment, I hope it helped give you something that you were looking for. But just know I am somebody that, you know, I'm in a position to where I can give some advice, helpful advice, because I have been there, done that. And y'all, if you follow my Instagram, y'all see I be always manifesting. Like, I just posted another house that I'm like, I'm over here manifesting on my next house, because one thing that I know now is that if you have been at the bottom, there's only one way to go, and that's up. So don't ever stop shooting, and don't ever stop shooting for the next big thing, because if one person can get it, another person can get it too. But please like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. I love you all. Stay safe. Love one another. We're gonna get through this, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. Okay. Mwah.